Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the European crossover webinar. And we're starting out a fairly quiet day. Taking a quick look here with Euro. We're actually up 7, just moved up a few pips. 21.17. Cable is just slightly down, just a little bit. Taking a quick look here at the Aussie. Same thing, just quiet across the board. Similar to what we saw last week. Dollar yen is flat at the moment from when we closed on Friday. Dollar index also down just a bit, but once again in tight ranges. Interestingly, gold is actually lower right now, down about $20. We did see that pullback from last week. Remember, we had that bias chart resistance at 1906, and we rallied up here into the almost 1920, or maybe tagged it, and we fell back quite a bit. We snapped back. We ran out of gas at 1906. Tried it one more time, slipped back, and then we give it one more last try. This was on Friday, and then we just came undone. Crude oil is still pushing up higher. If you look here, we do have the 161% at 71.87. This thing is just completely flying, and actually, we don't even have real resistance when you look on a monthly chart till about, I think it's $73. But we may, like I said, this was a pretty good yank back here, not huge. So maybe we'll go on and see. We did get a minor pause at the 127% extension, but they didn't really pull back. So that still leaves the door open for this 161% extension at 71.87. We'll see whether or not, if we get there, and whether or not we do go on and take a pause. Starting off today with economic news. We do have Eurozone industrial production numbers. They'll be coming out at the top of the hour. The forecast is for a positive 0.4. Then nothing until we roll into the States, and we do get Canadian manufacturing sales. Let's see here. And then actually nothing for the rest of the day, so just be Canadian manufacturing sales. Do see here that Bank of England's Governor Bailey will be speaking. That says at 9 a.m. Eastern. And then as we roll into this next day, the following day, we'll see the RBA meeting minutes. That'll be on Monday evening / Tuesday morning, Aussie time. Indices, as far as indices, you can see here that on the S&Ps, we actually have gone even further. We've actually taken out, got above 42.50, which we were not able to get above that on Friday. I think the high was like 42.49. We did want to push up here to, look at this, 42, basically 42.57 on the June. Now we're rolling over now to the September contract, which is now 42.40. So you got that differential that you have to be aware of. Let's see, September, let me see, June is at 42.40. I mean, I apologize, it's September. And June is at 42.49. 42.49. So you've got basically that 9-handle spread. We did reach 42.56. And on the September, 42.47. But the June reached, as it said, 42.56.75. Here on the June. With that, we'll go on and get started with the analysis. So the euro paired back from the 22 level as the week ended, finishing at its lowest close in a month. And take a look at that on the weekly chart. And you can see there here on the weekly chart. Finishes at its lowest close in a month. Support to start the week will be 2024. We're still a ways away from there, but we're kind of laying out what, in case we were to go on and stretch this, would be at 2024 with resistance at 2171. So to start the week, it's going to be 2024 and 2171. Still bullish until things change. I mean, we're kind of shifting into a neutral type mode, but still bullish overall. Take a look at what the daily looks like. Still holding above this 2095. Really, I would have expected. Surprised it's still holding there. Right here would be the initial support. I mean, early support, 2070. Let's go and move into the cable. So cable closed lower, albeit within the body of the prior week. Let's go take a look at that. Here's the weekly, but go back to the daily. And I meant to say right here, within the body of the prior day, not the prior week. So cable closed lower, albeit within the body of the prior day. Let's just get that correct. The market has been vacillating between 40.80 to 42.20, and that's going to be for essentially 2 weeks right here. A break from that support, a break lower finds support at 40.48, followed by 40.14. Resistance will be 41.74. So let's go with this 40.48. And if we do get that break, let's make sure we have that noted. With resistance at 41.74 and definitely still bearish. I mean, bullish, definitely still bullish overall. So we're just ranging about here, and you can see just most recently it's just been an up and down affair for the most part. But if we do get that break today, moving on to the Aussie dollar, same thing. Look at this, just up, down, up, down, up, down, stuck in this range. We just have not been able to go anywhere. So the Aussie remains in the range of the prior month, which is, now that is true. I'm just saying we just haven't gone anywhere for over a month's worth of trading. Bulls nor bears have been able to wrest control. Support to start the week will be 76.55 with resistance at 77.88. And we're just basically going nowhere fast. don't know if we can call this bullish anymore. Really, it's just a range. Is essentially what it is. That's interesting. It does not. Take a look at that later, but that really should be a range. And why does it? Oh, there we go. Finally got to go there. Let's go move into the dollar yen. So the dollar yen has been up and down, and down affair for the last 2 weeks with no momentum. Resistance to start the week will be 996 for resistance, followed by 1029. Support will be 920, followed by 886. So keeping it fairly quiet, very quiet. And as I said, it's been an up and down affair. From up to down to up, up, down, down, up. Still bullish, but as I said, we're just not going anywhere. On to the cash stall index. So the dollar index posted a minor rally on Friday. You see that here, closing just above 90.50. The index will need consecutive closes above 90.78 to put in a short-term bottom, or put a short-term bottom in place. Further resistance will be at 91.31. Support will be 89.98. One of these FX markets aren't going anywhere right now. I guess we're in the middle of the summer doldrums. With that, we'll move into Bitcoin. And this has not been quiet. This has actually surprised me. I would have thought that Bitcoin would have broken down. And then it rallied. Then it looked like it might start to roll back. And roll back, nothing. This market has moved higher. You can see it more. You can see it clearer on the 2-hour chart, the type of run we've had. We've rallied up here close to 40,000. I would have thought that we would have broken down and broken under 30,000. We didn't. We rallied back up, and it looked like the market might have gotten tired here. Maybe we kind of slipped back in here. But no, we kind of pushed here. Now we haven't gone gangbusters, but we are above, well, right at resistance here, 39,230. So Bitcoin posted a solid rally from 30,000, running to offers at 38,500, resulted in a pullback to nearly 34,500. Immediate resistance to start the week will be 36,900, followed by 37,500, and we're actually above that. And when we look on here, we're going to go with the, as usual, go with the body, and the body comes in. Let's see, let's draw that. Right there, 39,270. Support, obviously things have been changed around now, is going to be right there. 35,482 is going to be the support. And moving on to ES, this is interesting because we have rolled over all the volume. Still, at least with the Nasdaq, still favors the June a bit, but I guess we do need to go and roll on over. Now we're looking at the June contract here. So the S&P posted a solid recovery after testing the 4209 close to move at all-time highs. Resistance will be 4260 with support at 4227. Well, we made it to 4256.75. 4256.75. Let's go with the 4260. Now we want to go on and start to roll this over to the September. So 4256.75. We said 4260. There's a, remember, here's a June at 4249, and here's a September at 4239.75, essentially 40. So there's a nine handle difference. So if we're going to do 4260, resistance would be 4251. And remember, that's for the September contract. And then for support, we're supported 4227. Now you remember how important 4227 has been from a volume standpoint. So if we're looking at the September contract, take off 6 handles, going to put you at 4221. And let's go move into the Nasdaq. Take a look what we're on the daily. Here's that resistance coming in. Actually, if you went with the bodies, it's a little bit lower. Let's go and move this down to the body. There we go. That would come in right at, with the body, 14,023. And we know that the September is trading at, let's see, so the June is trading at 14,020, and the September is 14,011, trading at essentially a 10 pip premium. So let's say that the September would be 14,013 for resistance. And this is for the September. And for support, now the all-time highs, it's not very far from hitting the all-time highs. They just want to do that. It's 14,064. It's going, so the only thing we have to be cognizant about is we're rolling to September, but we're still in the June. So 14,064 is something we want to keep an eye on in the June contract. See whether or not we go and tag it in the opening session. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Then for support, right there. It's a little bit too close. Just going to go right there. 13,955. Once again, we trade September contract. 10 tick difference, 10 handle, 13,949. Now let's go move into the gold market. So gold has stalled above the 1900 area following a stalwart run from 1675. You can see that move that we had. It's just absolutely huge. A pause is reasonable in this bull run. Resistance to the start of the week will be 1897 with the daily close above 1911 to generate a new leg higher. Support will be 1861 followed by 1844. And you can see here, there is some support here at 1852 right now. It's already had a pretty good fall already. Let's take a look here. How's that 18? So let's go with 18. Let's see, right there. It's going to be 1850. We already had a pretty good slide already, 1850, but let's see on a little bit of an overshoot and some good volume coming in. Wow, it's all the way down to 1831. Right there, 1842 is what we're looking at. I think it's 1844. Let's go with 1850. So we'll go with that first line that we had, that 1852. See how that holds out. Not sure it'll get all the way to 50. Although stranger things have been known. I'll tell you what, because if they hit some stops, they're not going to want to find bidders until they get those stops. So let's go with 1850, 42. And resistance. $18.77. And moving on to crude oil. This thing has just been on fire. This is just bananas. Let's take a look at the monthly chart. Look at that. Really no real resistance until we come to 73.62. So crude closed at another new high for the week. Weekly resistance comes in at 74.20. The market has paused at the 127% extension. We show that right here. To start the week, resistance will be 71.25, which we're actually above that. But now we're looking at this extension that goes up here to the 161%. So we're going to go with that 161% extension. Because generally, we did get a pause here, but we didn't correct. So that suggests that, see, if we had corrected, then you wouldn't expect the market, if it got back up here, we could just blow right through the 161% extension. So, but all we did was pause. We didn't correct, so this door is still open that we could go to the extension and then possibly go and correct. So we'll go with 71.87 as our resistance. And for support, right there. It's a little bit too close. $70.88 for support. Okay, and they were saying, someone was saying about China PPI and oh, sorry, the person said, sorry, Swiss PPI. Usually I don't follow the Swissy economic data. Pretty much just stick to the key European countries as far as, like I said, whether it be Germany, Spain, Italy, Eurozone data, and of course the UK, but that's completely different. Mary wanted to look at the Palladium, Platinum, and Silver, so let's go and take a look at that for him. Let's move this out of the way. I'll get that posted in the room. So let's go to Palladium. Well, Amira, we're still on the weekend side here. We posted this hammer, nice hammer from the other day, but here we are starting to slide back. Now, all's not lost yet, but we do need to, if you look here, you see this low right here, we do need to hold right in there, that 1137. Now, that's not perfect there, but if you get too much low below 1137, they're going to try and go up to the stops. But the key thing, obviously, is if they broke below this, the low of this bar, which is 1126. I mean, we're holding okay, so that's not too surprising that you get a little hammer and then you start to pare back. And generally, when you see something like that, you'll be trying to see if the market can hold. And I don't want to say buying on the pullback, but you'd be looking at, on a very short-term basis, you'd be looking at the close right there, 1152 and a half. So if we get a daily close above 1152, then you have the all clear, and then you'll see some further short cover. That's on the Palladium, Platinum. Let's go and take a look at Palladium. Now this one's looking a little bit sicker. Now this is interesting because remember what I just told you? You see how this bar went up in here and you're like, wow, it cleared out above here, but you see it didn't close above that. That's key because once you get that close above, let's go back to Platinum. You see, then you get the all clear sign. You see what I'm saying? You establish the hammer. Lots of times you'll come back a little bit. As the market got a little bit overdone, you come back, see if they support on the dip back. But the key is we have to close above that bar there. And if you look at Palladium now, we got this hammer, and then they started to take off, but they didn't seal the deal. Remember, it's all about the closes. And I was saying that the other day in the chat room. Look, I don't care if you're using 30-minute bars 60-minute bars, 2-hour chart, 2-hour closes, daily. It's all about the close. How do we close? So you can see here, they got above it and they, wow, it looks like we were really starting to get some short covering. But did they close above it? No. So it opens the door for us to go even lower. We'll have to see whether or not we hold this or not. And then with silver, well, you can see here, same thing. You see how I always go by the closes? You see, now this was the open, but you can see here, I always go by the bars, the actual body. I should say, I always say I put them through the bodies. Not through the high and the low, I put them through the bodies. And you can see here the significance of that level right there. 28.41.5 called 28.42. And you see, we tagged it. We even got just a hair bit above it, but we couldn't seal the deal. We're dropping right back down. Key on the back side is going to be right here, 27.52. And we can take a look at something else. Hang on. We're on the lower end though with this euro. Look at the profile. Well, we're pushing the low, so I don't think it's gonna really help us here. We're going to take a look at that. It's back to the NQ. She's just trading in such a tight range. We'll jump back and see if we see anything on a closer basis in the cable. Hang on. Well, we're pressing a little bit lower here. But we've just been trading, looking at ranges, vacillating back and forth. We had 40.48, and there's where the 40.48 is coming in. Once again, I'm going off the body, 40.48. But, and then below that, 40.16. But once again, we're trading in very, very tight ranges. Very, very tight. But with that, we'll go on and call it a day, and I'll get the bias chart posted, and we'll see you in the chat room. And thanks for joining us here on the European Crossover webinar.